Okay, hi guys, and if you listen or watching me on Facebook, we'll be live on radio in Liberia in the next 7 minutes. I just want to give you guys a heads up, and the time is 1:57, 7 minutes to 1 o'clock in America, which is almost 7 o'clock in Liberia. And this is the conversation with the vision bearer of uh, 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 um, Care Humanitarian Organization. Yeah. So stand by, join us as we discuss the last segment on education. On education, yeah. So we'll be talking about education today. Yeah. We'll be talking about education. How can we help our disadvantaged youth? You know,
Nowhere.
no boss.
Okay. So I will call you so we can do that thing.
Okay. Okay. So we want to hear from you guys. We'll put the number up there whenever we're ready. And also, how can we help our youth in Liberia? How can we help our children you call Zogo? I don't like to use the name Zogo. They are smart people. Trust me, they are very smart. And I interacted with them and I gave some of them jobs to do. And some of them were doing masonry. Some of them were doing the carpenter job. They were trying to put doors up. But these are smart Liberians. How can we help? How can the care humanitarians help when it comes to education? How can we get these children off the street? But it might sound simple, but it is not simple. Let me be honest with you. It's not simple because if you can hear me, please let me know that. And let me come back. I'm waiting for my panelists to come up. So please, okay, they will join me very soon. And you can also share the video. You can also follow us on Facebook when you and Facebook, which is Care Network, just one word, Care Network, and also on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube, Care Communication Network or Care Network, either one. So I'm going to share this video. I'm going to share. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm live right now on YouTube. This is the YouTube page. I'm live on it. And so share. I'm going to share it on my page. Okay, post. It's on there already. You can also go to my page on Facebook. You can follow us. But don't forget, we have a long conversation today. How can we get our youth off the street? It's not an easy thing. One, most of them are on drugs. Some of them that I met, they sleep in a radical market. But these are smart children. Some of them are in the 10th grade. Some I met another boy, he graduated all from high school. But the drugs, they don't have no relative. Well, how can you send these children to school? How can you send them to a vocational school and for them to go through? You can have a program for them at least 6 months. But if you send them to school, after school, where are they going? Are they going to sleep in the street? How are they going to eat? If a man going through all these problems, you think he would ready to go to school? No. There's no help from the government. For example, the Daros Dillon Center, they got roughly about 50 Liberians that they try to do, 50 at a time. And they got to rehabilitate them. They got to make sure they are drugs free. Because every one of them that they take off the street, they either they're doing the cooch or they're doing the weed or they're doing something. But they got to go to school. After the drugs, what next? That is where we want to come in. So the first thing we got to rehabilitate them. We got to make sure that they're okay before sending them to some garage to learn or send them to some MVTC, some other technical schools for them to be able to know something, and want to send them to a place where in 6 months they can have something to do. In 6 months, every one of them not going to come out. Every one of them not just going to come out like that. But if you really, if you are consistent, you know, if you are consistent, you can get it. You can get it right. Consistency is the key. You cannot give up. And Liberians, please, we can't give up on them. Help us. Help the Care Foundation. Help other non-profit organizations in Liberia who try to do these things. We alone cannot do it. We want to partnership with other people. We want to partnership with other people who into the same business. We can't be that selfish now. Oh no, we can't be part of the guys. No, we can. We can do it. We can do it. So please listen to the show. My the panelists will be coming up, and I have Andrew Kier and Dr. James Williams, and I have Dr. Josh Williams will be on. I see he just got in the background, and let us have a good discussion. How can we help these children? How can we do that? Because you got to rehabilitate them first. You got to find place for them to sleep. So if you just push them in school, send them to MVTC, send them to different schools, after classes, what are they going to eat? Where would they be sleeping? At the end of the day, you finish, you're on your own. So it's just for nothing. And each one on drugs, I'll be honest with you, some of them sleep right in Raritan Market, some of them in different places. But let me now keep Mr. Dr. George Williams in the back there, and let me bring him up. And okay, I'll be bringing him up later on. So, so guys, please get your telephone ready, stick to the radio, and we'll have that conversation. We don't know it all. That's why we're breaking experts. That we're breaking people who into the who are educated, who knows they, they they have all the ideas. All we do, we just sit to listen and get everything from them, you know. And the one that we don't know, they wrong, and we can just move from there. But the biggest problem in Liberia are these children. You know, there are other people who drop out of high school that they are not so good, but they want to go to school. No help. Now, if we only concentrate on them, we will still have the same problems. They got children who live with their parents. They got other people who live by themselves. They want something, they want to go to school. But if we concentrate on them, the children that are in the street, they will remain in the street. They got other people who drop out. Some of them, they still live with their parents, but they don't have the hands to go to school. If we take them and say, okay, since you live on your mind and power, we will send you to MVTC and send you to other places. But what about the children that don't have nothing at all? So, guys, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting, and we are live on. I'm waiting for studio to come on, but right now we are on Facebook and YouTube, and in the next maybe 1 or 2 minutes, because I just see a call from George, we'll be on the radio live on Care FM 95.9. So let me just bring my brother and friend and Andrew Kier will be up first. And please welcome Mr. Kier. How are you, boss?
Thank you. Good afternoon, and we say good evening to people in Liberia. And it's nice being on the radio again today.
Okay. And we're still waiting for studio to put us on. That information was sent more long time ago. Okay, I'll bring on Dr. George Williams. I know he's my brother, so when I call him Georgie, I call him George. He won't get vexed on that one because I will call him. I'm able to pastor himself. Mr. Williams, how are you? George Y. Williams. Your audio is not coming up. Your audio. We can hear you. You can hear me, Andrew?
No, no, I think he has to go
Okay, I
back.
think you have a little, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're not on radio and I'm still waiting for the guys to put us on. Josh text me, but I don't know what's going on. So yes, Andrew, we had a conversation in the back today,
Mm.
and we stay on that same topic, education. How can we get our children from the street? How can we help the disadvantaged youth or other Liberians who don't have their hands? How can we do it? It might sound simple to say, oh, just get them from the street, send them to school, and they go to school and come back, and you pay the money. But what are they going to ready to go to school when they can't even find food to eat? They can't even find place to sleep. So that's the handful right there. That is our handful. What do you think, man? I still thinking about this thing. How we want to do it? How we want to do it?
Well, Mr. Kishan, sometimes it's so difficult to solve a problem if you do not know the root cause of the problem. Um, those you and I would like to help, those that the government would like to help, those other institutions want to help. You have to go to the root cause of all of these problems, work with the people, and be able to sort out a way forward. Now, any attempt to not knowing what you're dealing with, you will only be running into more problems. And at the end of the day, you want to have what we call sustainability of what you are trying to invest in. So all of these problems got their own connections in here and there, but you have to work with folks, by case to case scenario to be able to really address a problem. The government of Liberia has been doing its own. We have institutions on the ground that are also working to see how all of these challenges can be really attacked, how they can be addressed. You and I are also in the process of wanting to know how best we can also make an input. So, in short, we all have to look at the problem case by case scenario and know exactly where do you start from or how do you engage it before going in there. The problems will always be there, but let's see how best we can do a deep investigation of these things here before you can attack the problem.
Yeah, because you see, they got some kids in Liberia who drop out of high school,
Mhm.
but they are in the street. They got some who just drop out, they still go home and come back in the street and they're doing their own thing. And they got these ones who never enter class. Some of them were in the third grade when the war started, and the war lasted 14 years, and then plus Ellen Johnson 12 years, and George we had 6 years. So some of them number 40 in the 40 something years old. And in Liberia, there is the only place you will find and get these guys. Maybe you go to the Darius Dillon place, or you go to Bly Center, or they got Fusion, but everybody just in the street. There is no particular place that you say, okay, I'm going to this place to find these boys and bring them. So it's like it's the whole thing is a partnership right now. Do you think so?
Of course, what it also tells you is a society that is, faced with a challenge in terms of youth and other people that are not engaged. When people are engaged meaningfully, they contribute to the society meaningfully. Now, I say one thing to you: you and I, God made us in a way that All of us were born with some gift, no matter what. We're born with skills. We're born with potentials. Those potentials, that's what every society does to be able to create programs. Now, the programs you create become products that you sell to people. Um, People that we find in the Zogo or whatever you find in today is because the society itself is very idle. It has not had the productive programs, or they do have the productive programs. It's about being able to also market these programs so that each one teach the other, or the society will have to make sure that you know the bigger portion of that society that is all into drugs, they are not left behind. Now I hear you talk about people like Senator Dillon, you talk about people like Joshua Bly. We need to have more Bly in the society. We need to have more Senator Dillon in the society. We need to have more government services. So when these institutions are all well prepared, and as to where they are, people they have their own functions. They will be able to also meet the needs of those who are really in need, to be able to redirect them in the society to become meaningful people. So, talking about the problems you talk that you and I are still struggling, that others have been trying to solve, if we have ourselves well lined up in terms of intervention and the problem that exists, we will all be able to head on to them and be able to address them case by case scenario.
Okay, let me bring the CEO on, the vision bearer behind this whole thing that we are trying to do, and Christopher Kier. Welcome to the show, and Kier,
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. Kia. Uh, Thank you, the listeners. Thank you, everybody, and let us have a good show today.
Thank you.
Okay, and I still have and okay, I have the guy who is charge of the foundation, and Jonathan. I will be bringing him on too, that he will tell us some of the things that the foundation have planned to do. But I will continue to talk to Mr. Andrew Kier, because he was there. He left 12 years ago, and everybody's struggling on the same thing: how to get the children out. The Ellie Johnson administration tried, but they are still in the streets, still increasing. They have groups on Center Street now. They just removed them from there, from the Penn building. There was another group all the way down and behind Coconut Plantation. When I went there, they took them out already. So everybody is all over the place, Mr. Kier. Everybody's all over the place. What's really going on? Look, we're taking it for a joke, but what we're about to put our hands in, if we don't do it right, if we don't investigate, we get stuck on the way. Come back again.
Yeah.
Let me hear from you. What's really the problem? You think government to have a role in this thing, to work with non-profit to be able to help our children?
Well, the government, even at the end of the day, has to be in partnership with other private institutions to getting things going. Just how you and I are on radio tonight talking about it. Trust me, the government of Liberia is equally involved with this concern. When your society is at that level of a risk, of course, it poses a challenge to you for leadership and how to transform the people. So, what you and I are talking is not a new thing, but I can assure you the government of Liberia is also on top of things. Now, as to how far they've gone in terms of addressing the problem, that's one thing. As to how others like Senator Dillon and Reverend Joshua Bly and others are also participating in the process, it's another thing too. So the problem is there. It will be solved, but it depends on how do we engage the problem. That's what I said. Folks who like have gone through the war or even in the drugs today are people who have grown through a process with time. Mind you, those are habits that die very hard. Now, but you must be able to employ I call strategies and based on what we call best practices to addressing similar problems in other countries, that you could also use the same thing for our own country. That's the only way out you will be able to address most of these problems. I do not have all the answers. You and I got all the answers. The government, we can work together. So it is that partnership as to what have we done that have not worked, and what has others done that work in other countries. Here in the U.S., we have the same problem. It does not mean that America is all perfect with everything. Even in Great Britain and other nations, they do have those problems, but there have been tested approaches and how you call uh, processes that have been adopted. We can still do the same and get our country, safe from the challenge we have. Our country is a very small country. We can do it
Very
once
small.
we work as partners. Government being in full process of this whole challenge that we have at hand.
Thank you. Let me turn to Jonathan. Jonathan is the acting executive director in Liberia and a young man. And this is the guy I was talking about, Jonathan. He's very smart. He's a very good writer. Sometimes I say that he need to write a book because he would just sit and write and call him and Kia Martin Colley because whole day he's just writing. Yeah. But he's a smart man. And let me get to him again. And Jonathan, welcome. And I want to just in brief, when you look at our foundation, what we intend to do, can you just name some of the stuff that the Care Foundation intend to do? But we are on education. We're going to go back. We're going to take it little by little because we're not going to just push all the topic out there. Because yes, we started with agriculture, but we got to go back there again. We started with health. We got to go back there again and stay something. But right now, we want education. What's some of the ideas that you have? So can you just tell us what are some of the things that the Care Foundation intend to do for in the future?
Yeah, okay. Let me say good afternoon or good evening to every one of you. It's a pleasure again. I'm back on the platform. Like you said, General, the foundation is just trying in 4 pillars. And the 4 pillars are the agriculture, the health, the education, sanitation. But our main focus now is the education side, wherein we intend to help struggling of the underprivileged students that have left high school that don't have the ability to attend the very university. So we have designed a program wherein we will be able to at least first mark the first 100 students. It's a good thing that the University of Liberia has already appointed a president to act in that place. So by the 13th of January, we assume or we pray that the University of Liberia will reopen, wherein by February they are going to open the process of entrance. You have high school students who have graduated, even those that are currently in the 12th grade, will be having the opportunity to take the entrance. So our foundation now is where our foundation is going to come in to be able to aid 100 students by facilitating the entrance and they got something at the university as well called tutorial for the entrance both in English and mathematics. So we have crafted a program wherein all of the 100 students that are going to come to our foundation fill in the form. Mind you, we are not going to give individual money. All you need to do is to come to the foundation, fill in the form, desiring that you want to do the entrance from the University of Liberia, and we are going to do the payment for you. You will come back, we will give you a receipt where you will go at the university, fill in the university form, authenticating that indeed you have paid the entrance fee and you need to be ushering in on the day of entrance. So those are some of the things we intend doing. We currently have 14 students on our educational support aid at the Shuffling Bell. 14 students, they are all, we bought everything for them from head to toes, down to shoes, socks, copybook, pencil, you name it, PE suit, everything. We pay it for them from ABC all the way to 12th grade. We got one student is in the 12th grade, and That's what we intend. When we eat, we also intend to go to the vocational side, wherein we have the less privilege. Taking, like you talk about the people, the students on the ghetto, in the ghettos, we will incorporate them, bring them on board. Like we will go to a garage. If some of them they had this, they are desiring in different disciplines. So somebody may say, "Oh, I want to be a mechanic." We are going to negotiate with a mechanic shop wherein we can send some of them their own apprenticeship. And somebody will say they want to do tie dye, they want to do soap making. We are going to go to the very vocational school that offer these things that will inculcate our people that we are going to take from the street to integrate them into society. So these are some of the things we intend to do, and we will do more by the grace of God.
Okay. And I don't want to take everything from out of you. And Andrew, you listen to someone who was talking about it. He just talked about. I think you guys, when I was not on the show, you all said similar things. I was listening, and which is true because people continue to come from also Liberia. When I was there, asking, oh, if we can help them with the school fees, we can help them with tuition and all different things, even from private university and graduation fees. But they talk about entrances. You know, some people can't even afford it to go and take the entrance or to pay for entrance. So they talk about it. And then we talk about the garage thing where we send people, we want to send them to garages to learn how to be a mechanic or to send them to carpenter shop. Now we come back to the same topic. Can we just take them from the street and send them there? Now we come back to the same place where they will be sleeping. How do we eat? Who going to take care of them? Because most of them live in the street. So you see that the things that the foundation intend to do. Now we'll come back to the same place. I say I will continue to use it because your expertise is needed. But I will bring Mr. George and Josh on. But you can add on to what he just said, or you want to say something and while I bring him and Dr. Josh on.
Sure. I mean, it's a very key concern. As much as we want to intervene, there's so much. Okay, mind you, the government of Liberia, I'm sure people are watching even the talk show as well. These are the social services that any government of a country will offer its people. Now, all of these low challenges that we are pointing out today are challenges that are the responsibility of the government. Now,
Yes.
everything we are doing, we are all trying to do, play a role to meeting government halfway. So when we are doing these things, they also become like uh, these are reference things that government itself supposed to be doing. Now, to do them, you have to be more firm with what you are addressing as a problem. If you addressing a problem in the middle and not knowing the root of it, you will fail at the end of the day. So most
Yeah.
of these people you are talking about, most of them are drug addicts or we say the zogos, but these are great people that could be great citizens tomorrow.
Yeah.
As much as we have institutions on the ground too who are also dealing with this drug addiction, like the Dillon, how you call the Dillon Institution, the Joshua Bly and others, is about also meeting them halfway. You can take care of all of the problems. You and I
Yeah.
cannot do that. So we meet them halfway. Now, like the issue we're discussing the other time about the university students, every little input that you want to make, you also have to be very, very, very cautious about who am I investing in? How is this going to be sustained? How reliable is this person going to take this serious? You have to sit with the people and making sure that we are investing in something that is not going to be in vain tomorrow, or that will in no time have a relapse, and then you lost out with all of the investment. So we have to partnership with these people, their families, um, other sources, in terms of making sure that we do not run a risk, or like even the government. Don't be surprised. The government is also not being like heartless of these people that are in the street. Most of them have been tried, and most of them have gone back to the same old practice. Those habits are things that we have to partnership with other people who have expertise in that before meeting that way of building their skills into another direction. I think those are things that we have to consider when we are engaged in a problem.
Okay, let me. Dr. George is in the back there. I think you're having some technical because the noise. And Doc, you got to. There's a sound coming from your background there.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I just breeze. Yeah, it's breaking up. Oh, okay. While Doc trying to fix his audio, we can hear you, but you're breaking up. It's like you're in space. So let me just put you back first. And Chris, the CEO of this foundation, the CEO, that chief executive officer, because some people say CEO, they think that's not gonna prove because when I spoil the whole CEO business here. But Chris, do you have anything to add on? Because it is your vision, how you see this thing to work. Are you
Yeah.
prepared and you have gone so far? It's like when you're near a river, you don't worry about when you're in the water, you don't worry about getting wet anymore. You have started
Mhm.
a journey, and this is I want some of the things because you just put it out there, but it means that you know everything. That's why you brought people on board to come and make sure you realize your vision because you got a vision, but people got to help you to realize what are some of the things that you're looking at, what you want to work, and what are some of the things that you have on mind.
Thank you, General. Thank you to Mr. Kia. Mr. Kia, he said it. Say it also. I think we got a background noise. Data Joyce. Okay. Yeah, listen. With everything being started, we have a lot of obscurity that's surrounding the issue that we're going to be doing in Liberia. A lot of roadblocks and stuff. But with all that, we have certainty that there will be a breakthrough. We'll help people that
Sure.
need to be helped, and like we can help everybody in Liberia. You know, simple, in a very simple sense. What we're trying to do is help the numbers of people that we can help in the society. But in doing so, we have to be very prudent in our undertaking decision. The government has to be, to be a very crucial partner in what we're doing, and also
Sure.
local organizations and also foreign NGOs to be part of what we're doing. But equally so, we have to actually undertake our own path. Then from there, other people can come up from what we have been doing from our past
Yeah.
records and stuff. So we will be doing it. That is a lot of enigma in the process. And anything that we do is a puzzle. So
Yeah.
we actually trying to put things together to make a whole. So we will actually partner with other people like I think the Mr. Bly they talk about on the ground and other things, other organizations. So we have to be very careful in our undertakings. That's all I can say because Liberian people who want to be, want to be helpful. Also, we also want to be, we want to be very careful that we not, be, taking like how can I say to honor to abuse the process, the exercise.
Yeah.
So we have to incorporate as much organizations on our side to be a part of what we're doing, to be a force to reckon with in our pursuit of what we're trying to do in Liberia. As simple as that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to Dr. George. I think it's a breeze. Well, let's see, Doc. You've been listening to everybody here. Can
Is
we?
he outside? Maybe he outside. Please.
Yeah, he's outside. I think he came from church. I want to handle him on it. So can you hear us, George?
Loud and clear.
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead. Okay, go ahead. We can hear you. I know that it breeze, the one that going something, but we can hear you. So add on. Come in with
All
an
right.
open.
As far as thanks, first of all, for the invite. It's anything education. It's of interest to me personally. And as far as manpower development, Liberia, Where would our nation be without the need to sustain the human capital that's necessary for moving the country forward? Um, in continuation of the conversation from our last appearance here, is the need for Care Foundation to be very calculated in how they approach the process. Um, I would say, off the head, off the back, that try not to expand your reach too far because you could get caught up in the process. You could become overstretched and in the end frustrated and drop out. I would think, like we said last time, find those critical niche areas, that you can focus on. Uh, there's a rehabilitation piece that's already been taken care of. So you don't want to bother with that, but you can use the rehabilitation piece as a recruitment ground. And once you're able to identify who exactly out of those rehabilitation centers you want to work with, your business model can then be to utilize and work with those people that you identify to ensure a level of sustainability in the long run. It's not all about, we train 50 people in shoemaking or tire shop management. No, that's not enough. What is enough is that you receive some form of returns on your investment. So as to be able to really invest that in the next group that's going to follow. So there's generational investment in terms of the people you're serving. And so my advice would be to go in there with a business mindset that we're going to train these number of people and these number of people are able to generate the multiplier effect. 20 people will generate, say, 60 people in 3 years. And how that works out is can be operationalized from conversations to be held beyond this platform. But narrow your niche, see what the needs are, see what needs are reasonably capable of being filled with the resources we have locally and the resources you have at your disposal, and how to match those resources up in a way that you're serving the people, but at the same time, Care Foundation is being served through its own goals and business objectives. Yeah.
Mr. Kishan, you muted. Mr. Kishan, you're muted.
Thank you.
General.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Doc, we're not going to let you go. You got a long way to stick around us because I listen to everything you say. We will not allow you to just leave, and we pray that you will agree that you will come on this thing. I think Andrew listened to you. I said this thing. I said, listen, here started this thing. We put it out there. We're looking for experts, looking for people that will help us because the focus here is Liberia, our people, our children. Because it hurts us if you don't help them, you will deep into your pockets every day, and you will have to help them some kind of way. We want to see if they can help themselves, but they got to be ready.
They gotta be
And
ready.
Andrew, you listen to what Dr. George just said. Do you have anything to add on to that? Because we got to know where we're going from. And you said we got to know the root cause. Because the thing started in 2005. Okay, Chancellor brought the war, and we all brought the war. But now the burden is on our head. And no government and other people can get it right. Everybody just chipping. And I will come back to Josh later on because he must have said something behind closed door, how to help, what you can do, and to help other people. So what I want you to add on to what Doug just said, Andrew. You
Mhm.
listen to him.
Yeah. So when I spoke
And before
about,
you come in, Jonathan, I hope you're taking notes because that is why you're on this thing. Make sure you get your pen and paper and start writing. So time come, we're gonna ask you. Go ahead, Andrew.
yeah. So when I spoke about the root cause of the problem, as much as we look for even a focus of the issue to deal with, that issue has so many challenges that you have to deal with case by case scenario. I watch just recently a tip from Liberia with respect to some of the folks in the graveyard doing drugs, and you hear story from one end to the other. Now, that which probably prompted the other person to go into drugs may be different from the other person. And then they got folks that even got good families that they came from. So
Yeah.
you might want to know all of these things here as you study the case by case to dealing with it. It helps you to know exactly how a specific problem can be addressed. But you are solving a bigger portion of it as an as your concentration. So that's what I was trying to drive at. As Dr. Williams rightly put it, we cannot overstretch ourselves. We must have a focus as to our intervention. Others are doing just exactly what we are thinking about, but it's about where can we take a lead from? Where can we meet government halfway? Where can we meet other institutions that are doing the same thing? Where can we also partnership and say, okay, I think we can also be of help in this direction. When you do that and you have a success in one area, then you can move on to another area. So it's a lot that we have to deal with. The drug issue in our society is, I mean, it's a challenge. We have a full department with the government of Liberia, which is they call that the DEA, right? DEA,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah. For
so
the drug.
these are people that you're going to also be working with. As much as you are dealing with even the Joshua Bly, the Dillon, the rest, and all the similar institutions on the ground with people that they are already taking care of, and where you are going to be meeting them, it does not mean that you cannot have access to all of these connections, all of these institutions that are also trying to help, because it gives you a broader view as to where the problem came from, where it finds itself, and where you're taking it from. So all of us are in the same puzzle to be able to solve a problem. We need to definitely deal with it from a particular point we want to approach it from, so that we take a lead from there to be able to make a success.
And money.
Mm. And tell me, George, tell me.
Let me just add, in terms of the root cause, one of the things that can be built into any training curriculum would be the psychosocial component. This is not necessarily, it's closely related and connected to rehabilitation, but it's more on the psychosocial side, changing the mindset.
Yeah.
Changing the mindset. For example, one of the challenges we have with Liberian artisans, carpenters, and contractors is, they work one day, don't make the mistake of paying half of the money. They're not coming back the next day. 3, 4 days before they come. Now, how do we change the mentality that once I contract myself to completing a piece of job, my responsibility is ensure that I do all that I can within the time frame as professionally as possible, because this job that I have to do will be my recommendation for the next job.
Sure.
There has to be a psychosocial transformation in that process, and that can only happen if in the training program there's a component that deals with the mental shift. The mental shift. Yeah, whether they've gone through rehabilitation or not. My advice would be to always only recruit from those who have gone through rehabilitation. And this one was focused on the Zogos. I will not advise care. Maybe in the long run, when you can sign $1 million check to me as your pro advisor, yeah. But when you're starting off, of course, when you're starting off, you want to ensure that all of the fat is cut off. So you're not wasting your time
Yeah.
trying to do what other people have already done or can already do. You know? Uh, but finding psychologists who will work with them and develop a curriculum where that will help these people rethink self-belief, self-esteem, self-dedication to country. All of those things can be brought under a curriculum For when people buy, whether you doing tire shop, you're making shoes, or you're sewing, or making blocks, you know, you come out of there with a different mindset,
Yeah.
and that's gonna help. Care cannot deal with the root causes, but the root causes, um, we can try, with all the interventions, we can try, but a lot of those will have to come not just from the community, which we are all a part of. The government has to put in policies to, for example, illicit drug environment. Private entities can do all they can, but if the government is not strong and dedicated to that process, we're wasting our time. I'm a teacher here in the public school system, and I know all that we do for these kids, especially the kids who come out of low income homes. When the kids go back home after 7 hours with us, they go back home, they're still exposed to that ugly shade of life that we're trying to get them out of.
Yeah.
you know? And so it's like walking 3 steps, 2 steps, and they go back home, they come back the next day, they go back to what they were because they're still exposed to the environment. And so it has to be a partnership that Kia might not want to invest too much of our resources into, but focus in those areas that we can make a difference so that it's sustainable, they're not frustrated, and you know, you're willing and ready to continue the process. That's my 2 cents in that regard.
Yeah, you just said it, or you said something before I go back to Andrew. Going through the root cause, it's like we're going to start to just sit down and write a whole book, and before even jumping off. And you talk about even our own people. You see them today, they will go today, tomorrow they might not go, they will not do this. We'll start running after them. And I think if maybe someone can correct me, what we intend to do will be the first for this foundation to try to partnership with any other foundation, because everybody in Liberia duplicating. You won't do everything yourself. You won't bring them from the street. You won't do this. You won't do. At the end of the day, nobody doing anything. Now they got other people who just only there to get you off drugs. That's where they stop. But they don't have the hands to go. Like when I spoke with a guy from and DeLon, he said, "Listen, we don't even have money to send them to school. We can't even send them because we don't even have a bus. So we get them in this place almost like in a prison and look bad. In fact, four of them jumped over the fence and never came back. We went to them. They don't want to come because they didn't care. They ate the first food, and that's it. They got to feed them 3 times a day. There's no help from government, so they got to start begging for in America and other places. He said, but we'd love to partnership because when we finish with them, nothing. We teach them how to do little soap. But suppose the men don't want to learn how to do soap. Maybe the men want to learn mechanics. Maybe you want to learn carpentry. Different things. So I think that that's a good thing that we came up to say we're willing to partnership with other organizations, and I think we'll be the first. Because I will tell you in Liberia, and most of us, when I'm doing something, when you talk about partnership, you say, wait, the man can't take my stuff from me. The man won't do this, the man want to do that. But we're willing to partnership with people. And coming here, and Andrew.
Yeah. When we go in group, we can go a longer distance without feeling the distance. And when you try to do it on your own, then you have all the challenges on your head, and then you wonder where did I get the stress from? So it's a matter of what we call tolerance with each other. The institutions that have began what seem to be the issue in our country are people that we can also learn from. We can learn from each other. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to also do is meeting government halfway. Government should not be ever left in this process. In every attempt we do, government should also understand that what we are doing is what they ought to be doing. So we keep government in the loop, keep them in the process, and making sure that at every milestone that is achieved, it is the government that is achieving that. So they should be held to the fire that, look, as much as we are willing, but your input is also required. The DEA that we talked about, achievement that they have done, what are some of the sustainability that they have in place? What is it that other institutions could do that could add on to that value? Most of these things, if they come out from the government, which is the sole provider of these services to helping the people, then of course then we are going somewhere. So that's one thing I want us to keep to the back of our head. Every role that we play and every concentration that we have, it has to be an intervention and a help to the government of Liberia. We should all be on the same page and be able to make progress in that direction.
Yeah, that's where the gender ministry and health or youth and sports need to come in. Like I was speaking with Nathaniel Kwabo, and so I think everybody, in fact, George knows him very well. Late for special assistant. He said, "Oh, but they got this program at gender ministry, youth and sports ministry." I said, "But Kwabo, I understand that. But how can you even? How do you even know that? Because it's just they say it, but there's no money. Because I know a lot of organizations here, like in America, you got NGOs, they got the non-for-profit, they apply for grants and they give them these things just to help people in the community. But our government, yes. So that's where we sometimes will come in, we have an advocate, yes, we'll play a little politics too. Because if we don't do that, if the government don't have these things in place, we'll fail at the end of the day. We're going to fail. Because you will try, they can't even help you. You just put in everything, government not even concerned about the citizens. So we got to still talk about it. But I will, as I said, I will, and before I go back to George, I want to ask where his name. I think he left it already. I want to, okay, but anyway, I want him to tell us because there's something that we put in place, how to recruit and where to recruit from. And there's some form that we got and start to do some little vetting for now. Although we're not using them, we're not getting ready to put them in schools, but we got to know all these various areas that we can tap into. But let me go back to George again. I say we'll continue to pick
General,
some of the brains from him. Yeah.
General, I want to say something short there.
Okay, go ahead, and Georgie.
Okay, so wherever you are, my niece George, can you please mute your mic? The feedback is too much. Okay, so wherever you are on a Sunday evening in Central Monrovia, you are listening to Care Radio 95.9, and we are here this evening with the CEO himself. Yep, and also if you are following us on the radio, the numbers to call 0770 573 477 and 0881 871 670. These are the numbers to call. Also, the WhatsApp number if you are listening to us on YouTube or on Facebook, you can call us on the WhatsApp number plus 231 777 TD407 TD7 and the orange number again 0770 570 477 and the Lone number 0881 871 670. So wherever you are, I love to keep it like to Care Radio 95.9 and don't change that. Encourage your friends to listen to the program every Sunday. General, you're coming.
Okay, thank you. When you listen, and we are right, we are live on 95.9 on the Kia Radio and also on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to Kia Communication Network on YouTube. You can subscribe, and on Facebook you can go to Kia Network, and we sharing it out. Or please share the video, and those of you on the platform, if you can share, we appreciate it. But let's go back to Dr. George, and I will be expecting someone from Liberia that we want to bring on. So let Dr. George come in again with some of his good ideas, and then we can tap into it. Doc, between you and Andrew, and why I like it when after speaking, something will come to Andrew's mind. Then when Andrew's speaking, he said, "Oh yeah, okay, I just missed this one." So we enjoyed it right now, and I hope my executive director taking notes.
General,
I enjoyed the conversation.
General, let me just show you. My niece George, let me just show you. We will have a caller on his line. Let me just show you that. Hello, caller.
Okay,
Yes.
when you
Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Marama Sherry.
Marama Sherry, calling from where?
Yeah, calling from Ashmore Street.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah, I have my organization where I'm trying to build a space training for underprivileged. Right now, we're doing tailoring, hairdressing, soap making. So I don't really know whether you will visit us or if we can fix an appointment to meet. show you certain things that we are working on right now.
Okay, Mama.
If we can partner to be, we
Mm-hmm.
want to be a partner with your institution.
Okay, Mama. Keep listening to the show,
Yeah.
yeah?
Okay.
Okay, Mama. Okay, folks, so wherever you are, if you are listening to us on Care Radio 95.9, we are transmitting from Union Drive opposite the BCD Barrack here this evening, and the numbers to call in 0770 573 477, and the Lone Star number 0881 871 670. These are the numbers to call in and be a part on the show. My name is Josh, you can come in.
Am I good?
Yeah, go ahead, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, so just, really reading some of these key issues. I think one of the most sensible things I've seen happen in a long time is the effort to hold these consultations and, just gather from the public a good sense of what people are thinking and which direction to go. I think it's a very wise approach that you've undertaken. Hopefully, Mr. Anderson, his name is William Anderson, he's going to join us. He's a local trainer in Liberia. He works there, works with young people. He has a good sense of what's happening on the ground and great ideas in terms of some of the many approaches that can be employed with the initiatives that you're thinking about. And so I wanted him to join us and share some of his thoughts in that regard. But having been away for close to 15 years now, I can't say I know it all, but I don't think conditions have changed significantly. That I'm not familiar with a lot of what happens on the ground. I ran a nonprofit for many years before coming here, and I know what the challenges are. Those challenges haven't changed, and I'm not sure they're going to change now that things are, in a way, even worse now than before. There's a lot of desperation on the part of our people, and so in terms of your investment, you have to be careful again, so as not to overstretch the little you have. You know, uh, who are the partners you're going to work with? What is their background? What's the trustworthiness in terms of delivery? Not just to you, but to people they've worked with before. You want to do, a little bit of housekeeping before you enter into any serious partnership with people. Um, of course, you have to be on the ground yourself many times, making sure that the people doing the work are indeed doing the work, you know, and find ways to get feedback, even from people outside of your immediate circle. Get feedback from what could be happening so as to inform and provide you much clarity in terms of what your intervention and the impact your intervention is making on on the ground. Additionally, and this is important, is to form and forge strategic partnership with government. Because at the end of the day, they can frustrate you, but they can also facilitate your success. So you have to forge strategic partnerships with government on the ground. And which offices do you go to so that people like this looking for opportunities to make money on the side, but service to humanity to the country is first and foremost. So who we identify in your government who can serve as as a true guide in what you do, without necessarily putting politics first also. So those are two things you need to be guided against. The politics, if you went to a representative right now, it's all about 2029. How can he retain his office? So you want to guide against that. But you can also use that too. You can use it, but use it to your advantage,
Thank
not to your
you.
advantage. And then there's the issue of the economic benefit that people seek to. Oh, care is coming, he got some money, how can we get as much as we can out of him got to guide against that. You know, so those two things, if you're able to manage it, again, identify areas that will be Care's foundation's niche that nobody else will be doing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're gonna make sure how you making shoes. So much
Sure.
so people are LOIing, can't touch your toe because you're doing it differently.
Yeah.
You're doing it differently. Yeah. You know, if you're gonna train people to make juices, for example, you know, well, we grew up neighbor, I grew up in Brother and juices and punch and all those things. The people use local fruits. So how can you train some of those young people the the rehab centers to want to go into juice making? You got all our oranges and plum and things and messing up during the year. We're not getting the famous of those items because there's no way, no opportunity to process them in a sustainable way so that we're getting the most out of them. So here has to take its time and establish. And Chris, what I was saying to you is you need to have a session that will strategically look at areas of niche. It can't happen on the radio. It
No.
can happen on the radio. It can happen one day if we need to come to Jersey or wherever, you know, facilitate it. We can bring a team of people out there and we just identify what are areas that we could go into that wouldn't cost us too much, but would benefit the country even more and the people even more. And that conversation can happen on the radio. Yeah, I like to start there. Maybe next time I will ask, maybe invite another personality who too has a lot of ideas, work with young people, have done some work with soldiers and drug abuse population of our country, who can add some value to this conversation. Yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah,
need
thank
everyone
you,
on
thank you,
board.
Dr. Joyce.
We need everyone on board. And I sent you a new key. If you can check your phone to send it to William, because I think the
Uh,
key that you sent was the old one. It ran over 30 minutes. Okay, now we have gone 1 hour, 2 minutes. And Josh, you can make announcement again on the phone concerning if anybody want to call, and also I'm going to take a quick break while Josh announced that. And let us go to one of our sponsors. This show here is actually sponsored by the Amazing Care, and so we try our best to to play that stuff because we don't want them to sue us because the private.
This is Amazing Care Home Health Services. This is a home health agency. We send nurses and home health aides to patients' homes and take care of them, provide medical and non-medical services for them in their homes. So that's what we're doing. This is the office space where the how they call it, the high-end process is rendered.
Also the assisting admin at Amazing Care. I've been with this company since 2014 when we were making nothing. And we were literally in the basement of our apartment. This is how growth have brought us this far. 2-bedroom apartment, and we were literally using the basement and the garage space to carry on this business. And because of growth, we moved here on 2019, and we've been here since 2019 doing this. And God has been so faithful along the way, and we're still going strong. You can see this is the office of Amazing Care. We want to welcome the Care Network in here.
Okay, thank you. We are live on FM 95.9 Kia Radio in Monrovia. We're also on YouTube, Facebook. Follow us and help us. Now I have with me Andrew Kia, and I have the CEO himself, Christopher Kia, and I got Dr. George Wild Williams in the background, and in studio I got George Ware, our chief technician and our and the guy who behind everything when it comes to the radio. So please, George, can you open the lines and see and make the
Okay.
announcement if anyone will call in?
Yep. Okay. Good evening.
Yeah, good, yeah, good evening, Brother Josh.
Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening to the Kia family. My name is Garcia Wayne, and I want to say thanks ever so much to General and the CEO for the Christmas package. I leave some all with all the gift cash. And the Kia family, I want to say thanks ever so much to you who as my staff. But since this radio station I started listening to it from last year up to today's date, not before we in general. But some of all that keep saying me, when we bring our own little points out, our name that will bring it, you pick out a system our point down. When it comes to helping, the less possible for the struggle. I want to work the CEO that is a peer general, you want to help your effort directly. We the one I accepted. Our children, we will feel the thing. That was I don't know what people get not against the quality to instead put down the into power. Instead of you were giving a truth to put on the people out. Say they support them out. They are ready to come on in a little station for people to show all what they are doing. The fact is that the fear will know that you want to help Nigerians. You don't have to take the millions or thousands of people to help them know. Even if you take 10 or 15%, say with a group of gentlemen I see to your radio station there that are committed in listening to your instruction to help. It will help Nigeria. We don't want something that will happen that tomorrow somebody wants to take the glory what they didn't work for. And before you leave Japan 2 years after you talk about or the director or what the minister, the senator is talking about, some money was going down there. We know how much money we don't want to live there after this thing. As I see the year, it's free, I'm telling you. So I don't want to see nothing like West or something. The dream you want to bring on like Royal and get girl up. Who let go up and pay you for it? Who let go up and pay you for it? You tell them that group of guys that you choose to our radio station there, you can use it, they can have a party, they start teaching the children, they feel like one without winning man. It's telling they start teaching them, you know, there are millions of people there. Please, please. Don't spend your money for nothing to pass a job out there that and what have you. We know it can happen like that, bro. And when you have this group of girls, they don't say when you say start happy to even though you start dating, you know what they're children. They want to see the so that when they see that the improvement is they say it's great. The problem is improving. We bring some of that to a capital or then at another issue. You start teaching there and they look at it. They want to go to the plumbing. We can't be looking at one man as a teacher or be that to be what they call it there. Because I want to take the sky fight. They are for free and they are always taking and they're not looking at the sky. This thing like God, just putting your head, please see you. Let him have your wish. Last year is about my first last year. I'm not seeing you get planning to let me even the patient when you're here, let you prepare to begin. But we're speaking now, I'm going completely out of block. The operation is giving me a very screaming, So I'm kind of asking you, since you already said you're going to stop me, I'm supposed to go for my next, what is it mean? The surgery, just the one I was here too. But tomorrow, the other tomorrow is what is, in the first surgery is the one with the tissue in there, so move for them. I think one person to go to the hospital, no, for me to pay the surgery, what is changed fee. So I'm kind of asking you to see you. Yeah, that's too long, but please help me, let me move on this thing. As I'm speaking to you, that's talking to you, that's me. And I appreciate, thank you ever so much, you are man of your word. Let God bless you, your children, including the person you left, the child and George. You come with me, I'm going to talk
We
to you
lost.
for the
Okay.
this small thing. So let God bless you all, let God bless your realization. Let everything open to all of us. Please, that money is not with the unity, Lord, because
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, folks, if you're listening to
And
K Radio 5.9,
Andrew, I
and
want you to listen to this. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
okay, so the numbers again 0770 570 477 and 0881 871 670. These are the numbers to call in and be a part on the show here with us this evening. You're coming, General.
Chris, Chris and Andrew, you see, I knew I was waiting for this call from the public. You know, it's so bad, Andrew, that the people in Liberia are frustrated when it comes to politicians and whatsoever. That's why I was talking to Joshua Port, and I told you, he said, listen, we tell Dylan not to come around this center anymore. Let he just stay far because nobody want to help. Nobody want to help us because when you talk about it, say, hey, I beg you, that politician, oh, we don't want to do this. You just heard from, and I'm telling you, more calls going to come in because people come to that foundation and come to that center every day. Oh, we God bless you. Oh, God bless Chris. Oh, this and that. Some of them believe that we can do our own, but I know we can do it. But we got to stretch our hands. We got a place there where Chris said that we should have a little workshop, train people, but that just right up to a small little place. And even if we're going to send it to various carpenter shops, various mechanic shop, my thing, we got to vet them, we got to clean them up, where they're going to sleep, where they'll be going, who will give them food. And in like bro today, when you call and say, if you come here today, I'll give you $5 to go to class, they will come and collect that $5, and that's it. Because they wanted money. Once they get it, they're gone. What are you gonna do? You be the loser. Some of them
Okay, General.
you talk about the graveyard.
General,
Yeah, go ahead.
let me just hold you there. We have a corner line. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
We're doing great. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Stella calling from Panama Keba.
From Banavik Keba, Stella. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to the Cares family for that good work they are doing. And I appreciate so much. I think it will help our children to be with sheep. And I also want to contribute the words that my mother, my pastor work, your tutorial, they do story. So if you guys won't help for that, I will recommend my pastor work. So I say thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Jonathan, I hope you're taking note of all these things that people say. And you see other people coming in and said,
Yeah, yeah.
no, not lady, but I gave Andrew the time to talk to and respond to most of them, and they want to help. They got this other one, they got this one. Everybody, look, as time goes by, we'll see people coming in. Don't be surprised. We'll see schools, we'll see carpenter shop, mechanic shop will just come and say, listen, if you guys prepare, I can give my shop for 4 or 5 children to come and learn something. But we will have to take the initiative to vet them and to know where the strength coming from. You listen to 3 callers, Andrew. What's your take?
I think, again, this is more of a learning curve for all of us. When I spoke from the onset about knowing the root cause of the problem, those problems come from different dimensions, and so you have to listen to these problems to know exactly how do you engage the problem. Like I think the first caller also talked about the assistant coming to them directly and not through other medium. What it tells you is that there is a problem also. And that accessibility with respect to assistance is something that we have to always sort out very well. I like what Dr. Williams also said, that when you see all of these things here, all of the answers just from talking on radio, it's not, the answer is not there, but we have to go behind closed door and knowing the culture of our society, the politicking, the challenges in our, and then the protocols that are involved, the documentation processing, or how do you get information. All of these things, when you sit down as a team and be able to sort things out, you will be able to address every problem as you see it. For the callers, what it also brings to you is how severe our problem is on the ground. All of that will give us the tools as to how do we structure ourselves to engage in the problem. And I would think that this is, again, it's a learning curve for all of us, and everything that we hear, it guides our decision making and the kind of plan to be put in place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, right. And Chris, can you come in, please?
Yeah, for the three colors, they just express their frustrations and with the system on the ground. But today's is about education, how we can help the children in the streets. So we'll work on it. We'll do our best to address some of these issues within our reach. But equally, so we cannot do everything without the government being involved, and the politicians have to be part of what we're doing. So I know we are actually frustrated with their efforts and their positions, activities in the country, but equally so we have to incorporate that in whatever we're trying to do to be a part. And so we would address some of these issues moving, head on, moving forward. Okay, that's why I just want to add that as well.
Okay, and let's go to I'll go to my executive director, Jonathan, and you guys supposed to get a form how to start reaching out to recruit and vet people and know where they're coming from. And you were there during all the work. We saw during our work, you were able to see some of the Zocos helping us to lay blocks, try to lay ties. And within no time, because they saw us doing it, they were able to help. I came back, the other ball that did about 10 of the ties. I was surprised, Cooper. But this ball sleep right behind the market. And I was surprised to see him laying blocks. So that is what I think about it. That yes, it got a consistency. We can do it. But my only fear where they will sleep, who going to mentor them, who going to talk to them, say, my man, you got to go to class, you got to do this, and where they're going to eat. Because other places now, you go to the Dillon place, they eat 3 times a day. They get them breakfast, they get them lunch, and whatsoever. But they eat like a prison. And now what Joshua say, if it looks so bad that we try not to let them go out because we don't even have a bus to say to send, but we don't have money to send them to schools because nobody helping us. So we only keep them for 3 months. After 3 months, we let them go, and then you're not following up. There's nobody to follow up to see what they're doing. We need some of them who want a guy working with them. They want to send him to college because it's a high
Yeah,
school.
so
That's
yeah,
what
so general,
he
so
gets smart.
general, that's general. So that exactly like putting a band-aid on a sore and expect it to be to heal. You taking, wasting, 3 months of your time thinking that you will, revert these people from their previous behaviors and still, they'll end up doing almost the same thing, going back to the same old
Relapse.
activities, relapse. So, I mean, we don't actually want to be part of, any failure or, anything that has to do with inconsistency when it comes to the people's progress, what we're trying to do. So I think what we have to put in place as an organization is to first of all work alone with the organizations that are actually in place doing this currently. Then we take some of these children, the trustworthy ones, the reliable ones, and put them in the mechanic schools, computer labs, carpentry, sewing, and do any other things that they can do. And, then we ourselves, when they graduate, maybe 2 or 3 months they graduate, then we give them a certificate, and also we can, reward them with some employment that it can be. So what Joshua, what the frustration in other organization was actually giving out to you was because I think for the vast majority of the people that are taking care of at once, and they can do everything as an organization. And the government has to play a part or a role. So we will do a little like a piecemeal of our process here. We'll take maybe 5, 10 cases, graduate them, get them into the in the society to matriculate into the librarian system, the employment process. When they are actually settled, we can go and take another, so varieties of positions or trades will be addressed. But just doing on a mass scale would actually will be a no will be a no help to the public.
Yeah.
Okay, because these people relapse, go back into what they were doing before, and revert to wherever they came from. So we have to have to take a different approach. That's what I'm trying to say. We have to address them, maybe like 5, 10 cases, take them to do a certain trade, carpentry, sewing, computer mechanic, and graduate them, make sure they get jobs. We follow up with them a certain time to make sure how they are doing or whatever. Okay, we do it on a small scale. I think we'll get a very profound results than doing on a very broad scales with mass product. You get lost in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, and these are some of the things that we want to do. If you listen to us on radio, please call. We need your input, and because right now, if we're going to tell you to call and you get a bag of rice, I bet you're going to call. But these are your children out there. And even if you think you out there, I don't like to use the word Zogo, but I will use it because even they themselves say they have a Zogo association. So we all Zogo, trust me, we all there, not because we're on the side. But call if you need our help, if you have any ideas, call him and let us know. If you're in the community leaders, try and call because this station and what we're doing is for you. It's all about the people. It's not about us. It's not about government. But we want to see how best we can help our people. So please be a part of this show. And let me talk to Jonathan. Jonathan, and what do you have there? What are some of the plans? Because now you in charge. You are the one that will be running around. You live in Liberia. We don't live there. Like what my friend Andrew said, we don't live there. So everything we're telling you right now, hey, we're looking at how America look like, and we think it's supposed to be like Liberia. But you on the ground, especially your location, you are right near the market where you got almost every day you see 20 Zogos right there, toting people load going in and out. Come in. Come in, Jonathan.
Yeah, like those scholars, like the CEO regularly put it, all these things are going to be gradual process. Like for our underprivileged brothers and sisters, I always like to bring this story in when it came to the elections of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And we saw those guys out there. The guys just need the opportunity. Some of them out there, like Mr. Andrew Kier said, there are some of them came from a better home, but because of peer pressure, they have been carried away by the wind. And that very day, I was so astonished when I saw those guys discussing, debating the elections of America. And I call you, General. I said, General, come and see the guys. Some of the guys just need an opportunity. We institute a policy, a form wherein they will come. We are going to do every process is going to be vetted. We are not going to say anyone just come and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I need that. No, everything is going to be vetted. We are going to vet every one of them, even when it comes to the educational side, where we are going to 800 students from the university angle, the public school. Everything is going to be vetted. You will come, you fill in the form. You can fill in the form, and we are going to do counter check. We are not just going to sit at the headquarters and just make decision. We are going to go in the field, do our enumerations, do the minute enumeration. The work will come from the field, and we are going to come back to the headquarters and make the decision. We are not going to. Why it is true that we will not aid everybody, but the vision we we want to launch, we know that we are going to touch lives. We're going to touch lives. Like you said, all these things, when we bring these people and after you nurture them, where are they going to be? Those are processes that we are going to study, and we are going to, like the CEO said, we are going to partnership with those people, inculcate them with a lot of activities like the computer school he talked about, the computer lab, the carpentry, the tailoring, a lot of vocational activities out there to integrate them into society that when we send them out, they will be very meaningful. Mind you, there are a lot of leaders, a lot of great potential leaders in that area we call the less privileged or the Zogos.
True.
Yeah, there are a lot of potential leaders. And you saw a general, you saw the boy who laid the blocks for the studio, in the studio, between the studio and the news director room. I was surprised when he said, oh, but boss, you can tell general that I can do this. So I said, how you know all these things? He said, yes, I can do it. I all these things is part of me. So I was jokingly told him, I said, then why you decide to be this way? He said, Bobby, you will not understand. And you will not understand. And there are so many things involved.
Right.
And he saw have a child. He got a young baby. He came every day to that place. So these are people who are going to look at, see the potential in them, to tap on those potentials and make them food in society and integrate them into society. These are some of the plans we have.
And Andrew and Chris, you won't believe it. Where we are situated, we are in the heart of the Zogo community. I'll be honest with
Yeah.
you. Where we sit right now, we got Sony went behind us. We got all the places. And that one
Yes,
boy
anyway.
said something to me. He said, "Hey, General, please, I don't care what you do. You shouldn't forget us. You got to start with us." You know that thing touched me. I said, "Wow." He said, "You cannot jump over us and go to the other people. We are right here every day. Please, we want to do." And when there's a luscious boy open his mouth to talk to you, but he's sleeping in the market. Who is parents? There's
Yes.
somebody called Lee. Lee man start looking for me because I blasted at Lee. I said, "You're not ready." And somebody told her she came to look for me. Now Lee going to the house. Lee sleeping to the house, but he still come out to hustle. You
Yeah,
see?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then look, we got to another thing. Our surrounding, we sitting right in the heart of the Zogos. You go behind when you go behind Sony went right behind is the studio. When you walk in there, you see people, children. You say, "Wow, I can't jump over this place and go all the way," which is true. So our hands are full. We can test it. We can see if it work. If it don't work, we'll try another method. But
I mean, they
we
are,
got
what's the
to
name?
do
Yeah,
something from the ground up, from the foundation
yeah.
up. I mean, Mr. Andrew, we got a few. We're going 1 hour 26 minutes,
Yeah,
and we got a
probably
few more
we just
minutes to go. And
probably
George, if anybody call, please give us the opportunity. And Chris, want to come in?
no, I was saying that yes, we actually in the heart of the situation with the Zogos and the rest of them. But when Jesus came, he went on a sinner's camp to bring salvation. So we have to address the issue at hand before we move forward to the distant lands or counties or cities. So we have
Yeah,
to we have to create an impact first where we are. That's what the other person was probably telling you. But like I
Yeah.
was saying, I just want to add one or two words to what we're saying. The situation on the ground is very, very like it's bad. It's really bad because like I think the citizenry has gone like frustrated. Like anytime you talk to anybody, he or she will tell you that we lost faith in our government or in our administration. It's based on the fact that like the living conditions in the country is very deplorable. It's ruined. The drug has ruined the entire the youth of Liberia. So what I think the pathway that we can go, a very successful pathway, is to actually do a piecemeal process, graduate 5, 10 people at a time. But if you do it on a large scale, you will not realize anything, and that's why the frustration of the other organization, the guy, you're venting, some of his frustration to you.
I'll
3 months, carry them, they go right back.
CEO.
Yes.
Let me just put you there. We have a caller on this line. Hello, caller.
Yes. Yes. Hi. How are you?
We're doing great. Your name and where you calling from?
Okay. This is William Anderson. I'm calling from a town, Monrovia, Liberia.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. I just have a few pointers, and that would be my contribution to this conversation. It's a
Okay,
very
1 minute.
good.
Tell Mr. Anderson to wait and tell him that I've been trying to get him on. I've been trying
Okay.
to
It may
get
say
him
you-
on
it
this
may
show,
say
but
you're in the backstage waiting for you to get
no,
to
no,
put
no. He was in the back, but I could not see him because I think he's still using the old key. And after I think 20 minutes, that key expired. So I sent a new key to George, but George never brought him back. But tell Mr. Anderson to give his information so next time I can just send it straight to him.
Okay, I'll do that after the show. I'll call him. Okay, but you can proceed.
So come. I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
So I'll just refer to a few contributions to what this. I think a year, all of the different benefits the program has, the different initiatives and activities that has been planned. Usually, we need to think about sustainability and different types of models that may work for Nigeria because of our cultural context. That's the very first thing. And in the planning stage, usually people don't analyze properly or probably have enough time to think about a sustainability model for such activities or such initiatives. There are several I'll put it away, several models that could work in Liberia, but it involves a whole ecosystem, which is basically, for example, just enterprise model will work for this initiative. How? Usually we build rehabilitation centers in Liberia, but there are
Signal is a little bad. I don't know what's going on.
He's still
is
on
it
there?
okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you know what I'm saying?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, great. So I was saying the social enterprise model could be one of the different models that would work perfectly for such a program that you have. We could also think community-based cooperatives. We could also think mixing your operation with spiritual
Very good. You just touched a
organizations
good point.
and partnerships. We could also try PPPs. So there are several ways to attack this. Now, the reason I'm coming from thinking sustainability because I hear all of the different constraints that even the callers have listed, even you yourselves have listed, and you cannot get rid of these constraints because these things won't change. Corruption won't change. The system won't change today. It's for a while. So we need to think and build an ecosystem that is basically sustainable for such an activity or such an initiative. So I would suggest a few things. One, I think you guys need to think of a community-based corporation or cooperative, one that is by incorporating your program with some community, like where you are right now. If back of PhD or wherever you are building the center or trying to build it, you need to have some partnership with the community so the community can also help in their own ways because these kids are from the community. Now, you would take it lightly when the community or the communities are involved in helping to promote and sustain the program itself. Communities have their own way of making impacts regardless of who's running the program or not. The only thing you're providing there is the direction. You're providing direction. You the encouragement of the community to take charge of it. Now, we know we're recording our job, recording Zogos, but it doesn't mean they cannot benefit in other areas. If these Zogos are going through a 3 month, for example, or 2 months training program, be it a skill training, if you partner with the communities, these same or very communities have ways of paying back to these people, quote unquote, less fortunate people or challenged people. They can do waste campaigns, they can clean the community after the training, they can provide community service to the communities. And this is how developed countries, come about all these different programs in terms of sustainability, because that's what our constraints are. Now, another one or another model could be your PPP, right? A public-private partnership. You could still write a public-private partnership with other organizations, with the NGO, private companies, to fund some programs because you cannot sustain the program for time. For example, I run a construction company, okay, and I'm always looking for a certain skill set, regardless of how it could be a tile layer, it could be a masoner, it could be steel bender. Now, depending on the skill strength you provide to certain individuals, um, based on the partnership that you're gonna manage, because now that's the input. I'm getting certain skill set from through this partnership program from your program or your company, your organization. And once I'm dependent on that program to feed me certain skill set, I will also streamline and direct my benefits to your company as well. That's just one example in terms of partnership, of partnering with a PPP or having a PPP. You can also do that with skills training and employment pathways. There are other trade schools that not necessarily want, funding, but they need the human resource capacity. And Liberia is so the reason why most times the investment is bad because we don't understand the investment climate. So you guys are in America and you're trying to implement something very, impactful. But at the end of the day, once the planning phase is not totally, totally well off, and the sustainability of those different initiatives or programs are not actually clearly presented or visualized, then that's where the constraints come in. Because there are no ways these programs or these kind of programs to be sustainable if you don't think on the end results. How can these people benefit? How can these people be sustained even when they leave the initiative or the activity of the programs? I mean, I know I'm speaking in your terms, but basically it's all about that. There's macro enterprise development platforms to be used. For example, we're talking street vendor support. These guys can work in street vendor support systems. I know this because I've designed systems that people actually can benefit from, and I'm willing to basically speak more on this to you guys, and we can all work together and see how best we can establish something strategic. Because I feel this is what Liberia needs. We can not depend usually on the public sector for all of the solutions because they themselves are facing their own challenges within the public sector and don't even know the strategy or don't even have the roadmap to get out of these constraints. And the private sector gives the direct impact to the community, to Liberia as a global village. And this is what we all want to see. So I'm just suggesting one contribution from my end could be sitting with you guys and creating a sustainability model or several models that we can basically streamline and see which one best fits, your program. And I will be willing to provide other means of support to see how best we can achieve your desired results. So I mean, I'm really happy to hear. I see the passion. I see the all of you, and I mean all of the things that you have talked about, including the college. I do believe that these things are achievable, but we only need to streamline all the things we need to do versus what our end results should be in terms of sustainability. Because Liberia's biggest problem is the people. How do the people actually benefit from these different initiatives? Usually it's for the paper, but at the end of the day, the people don't actually benefit or the impact is not actually achievable, and that's not something we probably hoping to anticipate. So that's just my 1 cent, and I look forward to more
Okay.
conversation.
And is this William Philip Anderson? Eh?
This is William Corral.
Farrell, no?
What your middle name is Philip?
No, my middle name is Farrell, Pharrell.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to. Okay, but if I get the information, we really need you to come on, and because you said a lot of good stuff, but we really want you on this show at least to come and share some of your good ideas. But I'm sorry, it was not intentional. I could see, but when a key is over 20 minutes, you got to send a new key. And I did to George, and I told him I sent him a key. So, but if I get your full information
I'll
next
do
time,
that.
I will just even write down, Seth, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that after
Yeah.
the show.
Right.
I'll send you a contact.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. No
Okay. Thank
problem.
you, Anderson. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you,
And
guys.
Chris,
Thank
there are a
you,
lot of
Mr.
people.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
there's a lot of people out there with brand idea like what Andrew and myself was saying today, which we got to plan it better. And there are people in Liberia. He was talking about bringing one of his friends. So you see, when it comes to the educational side, it's broad. It's not a small topic. Let's be honest. But we want to start from the foundation. It's just that we're focusing on one. We still bring other people in, but we tire put Liberian. If you listen to me, let me say the real thing the Liberian way. We tire putting hands in our pocket and be giving you 50 liberty, 100 liberty every day in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And we know that you are smart. We know that you can use your hands to work and make money. Because if you can go and be touching the Oman low whole day, the pape, you carry it up and down. You can be a nice mechanic or good mechanic. You can be a good carpenter. You can start making your own money. You can sit in front of your house and fix chairs and fix decks and sell it because at least you can do your own thing. Then you won't, In fact, then we'll be coming to you now to eat small money from you too. But this is what we intend to do. We want to help, but you should be prepared. Are you willing to be helped? That even if we get you talk about vendors, sometimes you look at it and say, I will take the children. Can you open a shoe shine place? Can you go and work to this place? But hey, how long they going to spend there when you look, they're gone. In fact, they put in there, some of them running away from that Dillon place, some of them running away from Blythe place. They got when they leave, they want to go back to the same life. It's not an easy thing, and CEO. This is what we're doing. It's patient, consistency, and as you said, and I always said we take the baby steps. Now we're sitting, we gotta walk, then before we run. So take that little step. If you get the first 5, the first 10, later on you go look, the next thing you get some 100 group of people you'll be graduating. But I want to say again, in the public manner, thank you, because it takes a man heart of gold to do such a thing. That is why you see your brother behind you, I'm behind you, and everybody telling you, say, yes, we can do it. One man it take men or women to develop a nation or to bring nation to a village to make sure the village is stronger. So I want to say thank you. And Andrew, what do you have? Is there's no call? We want to start doing our closing because I don't want to keep everybody up here. We gotta respect the airway. And Andrew, you come in.
I will say that we are fortunate to have a very manageable population in Liberia.
People to ask you, let me just hold you there 1 minute, Shirley, yeah, to tell our last caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Mario, calling from the GSA room.
Okay. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm just following you back and then listening to all your discussion concerning the global and stuff. It is a good thing that you guys brought it out about helping them. But in doing so, you got to make sure that they are willing to be speak and they are willing to learn. Mind you,
We lost the
Caller went
caller.
off. It didn't went off.
Yeah.
George, call dropped.
No. The person in line.
Oh, okay.
so it's the first time. And then
Is it a network?
Is that a network? What happened?
so
No, General. The person in line, the caller talking.
it's a good thing that you people want to help you, but you guys have to be very careful. Not every one of them willing to be to speak now.
Okay, my sister. Thank you for calling.
That's it.
Okay.
Andrew, can you add on to what our woman just said?
Yeah, it's the same thing we've been saying, and with the problem that we are all trying to address, or the government has been addressing, or other institutions in Liberia have been trying to address. One major challenge they've always had is is how truthful the people are to themselves.
Yeah,
I've always said that one of the worst person to lie to is yourself. Now,
it's yourself.
if you will sit to lie to yourself as to how best to improve yourself, then there's a problem with you. And then we're more to have a bigger portion of the society like the Zogo. I pray that as we all attack the problem, someday the name Zogo will go away. But hey, at the end of the day, as much as people are willing to help, and the Care Foundation is also part of the process, what is key is the issue of risk management. That risk management, we have to be very keen about it so that the impact you make can be sustained. When we sustain that, we can use every milestone to be able to also go further. And I like the last, not the last caller, but the last speaker about the several models to be adopted. because when you have those several models, you see exactly where many failures have been encountered and how you can also circumvent the process and be able to employ others. If we do that, we will be able to, address the problems head on. What we also talked about is the need to streamline our intervention. If we streamline our intervention, trust me, we will have a niche in the process and be able to always do it more differently than others have done it. So we have to take note of that and run what we call an impact based approach to the program. If we do so, a lot will be achieved. We are blessed to have a very manageable, like I said, a manageable population. Liberia is about 5 million plus now, right? That's a
Yeah.
very very small
Five, yeah,
population.
5.2. Yeah,
Thank you. That
five point
that
two.
that is
And
even, trust me, the
go ahead.
state of
Go
the
ahead.
state of New Jersey is far far bigger, almost like 3 4 times of Liberia. So
I'm
imagine, so our country, you and I, you won't believe it. There's a hope in the future, but the government you call it government full participation, that partnership with those that are striving to intervene, to help. If government can only listen, I'm not saying they're not listening, and we're not here to badmouth government, but we are saying they need to pay more attention. Pay more attention to those who are willing to be of help to meeting them halfway. If we do this as a team, as a group walking on a long journey, the problem will be less. And the Zogo someday will turn out to be something. Before I close on that too, Chris and Mr. Kishan, there's one thing the last speaker struck, and we take people may take that for granted. The involvement of the churches or the
Yep,
religious aspect of it, that component. Trust me,
yep,
for some of us who didn't even know better or sometime back, especially on an issue or a lifestyle, the fact that you can see the benefit as to what God can do for you. Oh man, if you can only tune into that love of God and committing your life to God, I believe the churches can play a major role in these disadvantaged youth or the Zogos. They have a major role to play. Joshua Bly happens to be a pastor, and even in his camp, he enshrined all of this in his rehabilitation, which is also taking place. If God is in everything you do, trust me, you will be a well refined product for your own society. So those are people when
yep,
we doing
eh,
the
eh,
partnership that we should reach out to helping out with
yep,
changing
yep.
minds and hearts of our own people. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good you brought it up because that's one of the points that he raised. And we need to work with the churches. The churches have a big role to play. We're not going to go to the one that in politics because I know some of the in politics people, but they got the real ones and who doing. And I'm going to bring a young man. I gave him 2 or 3 minutes of his time, and this young man from Liberia, and I knew him from there. I never met him before until just from social media. Today, Sidiki is going to school in Rwanda.
Wow.
Sidiki said, listen, nothing for me in Liberia, and was able to raise the money. Sidiki is a second year in Rwanda and he taking every opportunity. So I like, in fact, sometimes when I own by myself, I bring him on to talk to his friends in Liberia. So I'm going to bring
Mm.
Sidiki on. This young man is doing everything. Take every little
Wow.
opportunity. Sidiki, I've gotten 3 different certificates now, free in Rwanda that you don't have to pay. Just do what you know. Sidiki, you are live on radio on FM 95.9 and you are on the start show conversation with the vision bearer. Go ahead, Sidiki. Just give me 2 or 3 minutes because we're about to leave.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Uh, thank you
Good.
for the once again, and nice to meet you, Mr. Bokia. Thanks for the great work you're doing in Liberia.
Thank you.
Uh, it's good to be here with all of you. Yes, thank you for your kind words, Mr. Kishen, and thank you for your support over the years. It's really, really appreciated. I just want to encourage my fellow young people here to seek opportunity to sometimes volunteer, sometimes You have certain skill in you, but you don't you apply for job, you're not getting it. But organization like the Care Foundation, you can come, maybe you can do like, you can manage the radio station page, the Care Foundation page on Facebook. You can come up for you ask for the opportunity. Nobody reject volunteer service. Once you come, you say, oh, please allow me to volunteer for you. It's very hard for the person to reject. But when you come and say, I want to work for you. That means the person got to put you on payroll, which of course you have not budgeted for. But when you come and say you want to volunteer, that person cannot reject you. But based on your performance in a volunteerism that you are doing for that person can sometimes say, look, man, that $100 here, that 200, hold it one here. And so these are advice that I want to share with my fellow young people in Liberia. Mr. Kishan, like he rightly said, I never knew him from anywhere, but he will call me Siliki. I want you to go to Bon County, my welcome me. You'll go and do so and so thing. And I will get on the car and Bon County. I will not tell you, say, I not get copy you know. I will do these things. But at the end of the day, after all the political we did in Liberia, I told him that, look, Chief, I don't want to stay in this country. I want to go and further my study because staying in Liberia will be a lot of distraction. You go into school and then sometimes you never get copy. Liberia is the only school pay school fees, but you go to school, they tell you to go and buy pamphlet. I don't know what is that. So it even make the learning difficult for people. But yeah, in Rwanda, you pay for school fees, the teacher come to your class and may give you a PDF through your computer. You go and download your PDF of your notes. All you need to do is to study. And so I can actually understand the struggle our fellow young people are faced with in life. But at the end of the day, organization like Care Foundation, like the great work they did the last time in Looking Town, helping a family with a roofing of the apartment or house, putting them in a new house. It takes a patriot to do these kind of things. This man is not running for president. He's not running for nothing. He just wants to give back to society. And so when organizations begin to come, some Liberians too want to take advantage of that and say, look, our time to chop. Let's see this
Yeah.
as a mean of working together. Because if Mr. Kia failed on the Care Foundation, all the people he knows, they are Liberians, they are doing well or have similar, ambition to want to do the same thing. He will discourage them. Say, my man, I put my money into Latin in Liberia, but the people that are too bad in that country, they never be afraid. So let's embrace it. People like John are doing well, coming on board to work together, dedicating our time to do these kind of things. It's really, really appreciated. But I'm giving 2 minutes. I want to go over.
Go ahead, Sidiki, go ahead.
No, actually, I just passed by to say hello, but you guys are doing a great job. Actually,
Thank you.
you've been to construct in moreover there. It's a very, very great initiative that you're taking. And the people who are listening to us via the radio in Liberia, I just want to encourage you. Let's embrace this organization. Let's follow the Facebook page on Facebook. Go to the website, read more about it. And just do whatever you can do. Even if you follow, that's a support you're doing. Because when you follow, you share, other people too can know about the organization.
Yeah.
That's a giving.
Yeah.
So keep listening to the Care Foundation. Keep giving your support. There's a great work that they are doing. They're not coming to you say, you're mayor president. No, they are doing this to make a difference. To tell other Liberians, look, God bless you, and be able to give to other people. That's the main reason of the Care Foundation being established, to give to the less privileged, people who cannot afford to send their children to school, to pay for wife fee, to pay for graduation fee, to pay for medical bills. Maybe the rain coming, your house is leaking, and stuff like that. All these things the Care Foundation is doing. So let's embrace it, let's support it. So thank you all of you so much for listening once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Sidiki.
you, Sidiki. Wow.
Thank you.
First time I saw you, you were looking, I think you were in the darkness. Now in the light, I saw you. Yeah, I see you very vividly. Thank you.
You see, Chris, Andrew, I'm the kind of person I don't just like to hide my feelings. This young man, he's my pride. I don't know him from nowhere, but literally beg on Facebook to talk to people, say, please, I need money for Sidiki. We raise money. People gave $5, $20, $50. In fact, we stay owing small part of the rent just to because he's not on a scholarship, but he got to sleep to a place. He need internet. He needs other things. That little money. How much it costs? $700 for a whole year to go to school. And this man got about 3 certificates now. All they say, just apply, and he took the advantage. And today, people calling him to manage their Facebook page, people calling him to manage this other page. So he's the guy, he's my friend. I call him my little brother. Everybody in Labrona knows Sidiki. This is the guy who I call. He don't ask me about transportation. Go to this place. He do not ask for transportation. People call, people talk and say, "Might go to the port, do this, go do that, go check my farm."
What did you do in college? Let me just interrupt the general a little bit. When did you study?
Oh, I'm currently studying international relations at university.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did some tech courses. I'm a certified VA. So what a VA does is to be able to manage social media page, to be able to be a executive assistant. If you're executive, so busy, you're not able to manage your time. Like I can schedule a weekly activity for you. I can, you know, do travel option for you. Maybe you want to travel to somewhere. I can go on the line, make a research for you, and do your travel option, all of that, search different airline tickets and all of that. And I can also manage your email box. Maybe many people have email, but you're not able to reply to all your email, manage that for you and other stuff, all that stuff. But anything executive assistant can do, I can do that. That's a certificate as a VA. So I'm a certified VA right now.
All right, Sidiki, let me ask you one more question. The general said something about your rent. How much balance in your rent you owe?
Oh, the balance of my rent right now is 250 because the general and the other people they were able to send me some money the last time. I paid 50 actually, but this year,
yeah, but 250, yeah.
The Care Foundation will help take care of the rest. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. You struck a very good point about the voluntary services. A lot of people don't know about it. You want to go, you want to walk to a company or organization and say, "I'm looking for a job." It will tell you, "We don't have any opening," but you're not actually doing anything. But if you volunteer to any organization, you put in,
oh yeah,
they are tempted to hire you for your services. Yes.
I just want to take a few seconds to share my own experience with volunteerism. When I completed my VA program, I sent a certificate to all my friends on Messenger, and then there was this big brother asked him, "Can I volunteer for your organization?" Because his operator STEM in Liberia. So what they do, they train us how to use AI, to make learning easy for students. So I asked him, he said, "Okay, Sneaky, no problem. I will hire you. You can volunteer." So I started volunteering. It's called Institute of Basic Technology in Liberia. So when I started volunteering, I was this. I would just be sitting at the bench, just send me $100, 150. Say, "My man, you're doing great." I said, "Wow." Yeah. I said, "But that's a volunteer service I'm doing." And then they see people I send certificate to again. That man say, "My man, I guess I'm gonna job for you. Come and do it." And now it's what I'm doing now for the 3 months, just like a contract. It's what I've been able to. So these are you don't have to go submit CV because 80% of the job you supposed they're already been given us. They just posted for formality, but recommendation and how recommendation can come. Mr. Kia don't know me. I don't know him. How can I just come to him and say, "Please give me job to your foundation"? And I've not done something before that you have seen that it can be encouraging. No. But if I take the relationship with a volunteer service, I make I do well, you recommend me to Mr. Kishin and say, "I get one of my picking over there. That picking is so good at graphic design. Please help me, gain and stuff like that." So that's how volunteer services are very, very great. And young people in Liberia, we say no job, but organization like this, you can come over there, you say, "You know what, I want volunteer to be that's something." But if you are committed to that, the CEO can say, "You know what, we'll give you the job to be sweeping the whole compound, and then every month can give you 250. You get a job right there." So that's the whole secret of volunteerism. It's very
Sidiki, one of those who.
How many volunteers do you have? I think we got
Right now,
five.
Right now we got
right now I have
five.
like two.
We
I
got
have two volunteering service at two. Yeah.
I'm talking about I talking about
No, no, I'm talking about Care Foundation.
and we got five. We got
Yeah,
Oh,
That's great.
we got
yeah.
five.
Yeah, but thank you so much, CEO. Thank you
No
so
problem.
much.
Mr. Kisha will get back with you. Okay.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.
What happened to
Okay.
the what happened to the general? No, it's only
Frozen.
yeah. The person.
Okay,
The
so for
person.
I think we're out of time, guys.
All right, Siddiqui. Take it easy. All right. Have a nice day. Talk to you another time.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. So I think general is off. Got
And now,
Mr. Tia. You want to put in and then extra?
The closing, right?
yeah,
Yes. Say something.
Yeah, I think this is a laudable effort that is being made. We should not take it for granted. Is I mean, you see the impact, you see what is being done. What also come to my mind is that our country is faced with a lot of challenges, especially with the youth. Um, when you have the youth is the fabric of any nation. Now, to have that fabric of the society to so much being involved into things that hurt the society, that's a concern. But the hope that I have today is that it's like all hands on deck right now. You have a lot of organizations that are also working towards the same goal. And let take out the monetary concept or as to what the institutions will gain. But what I'm more concerned about and what is ringing more bell to me is that everyone wants to help our society. And the government may not be in the forefront, but I believe with this collective effort from the private institutions and individual efforts, it's going to definitely ring bell to the government itself on the ground. And that sooner or later, our society, for the bigger picture of it, will benefit in the end. For the Zogos, it takes willingness, and that name called Zogo, as much as it may sound, you know, good in some of you guys' ears, I would think that you can help to change that name. That history tomorrow will be able to reflect on that and say, this is where it was and this is where it is today. All of you have a role to play. Those listening to us today, we want you to show your willingness so that others can also meet you halfway, so that the government will also be able to meet you halfway, so that the private institutions that are willing to be of help can also be there. And I will also want to speak to even the families of these Zogos or those who finding it very difficult. That life is like this. With life, there are opportunities. But once you are willing to be a part for change, trust me, that change will come. So as much as things are being done in this direction to awaken hope and assistance to you, you have a role to play to be willing to do what is right. When you do that, people will be willing to take you to another step. Thank you.
Thank you, and Andrew. And CEO, do you have a closing? You can give your closing statement, and then we can
No, I
call a
just
day. We have gone 2 hours.
I just want to say thank you to all the panelists that came on today. Had a great discussion. Moving forward, like we said, we have to do this very smartly. We have to be very screwed in our undertaking, and we have to do this the piecemeal.
Mhm.
Right? And then if we can, affect five people's life at a time, it would be better to have 50 or 100 or 1,000 people would know. You put your time and money into helping them and turn out to be of no help. Okay, and go
Mhm.
and go back to the same bad society or the same ways that they're familiar with. So we would do it. Would take a very a very different approach in our process or our exercise here. So we want to actually make a mark in Liberia, not just doing this to be part of any type of society, but we want to affect the lives of, if we can affect the 10 people, 15, 20, that makes a very big, huge difference in the society than, undertaking a large or on a massive scale with no productivity and, directional purpose. So we just want to be very, very smart in what we do here moving
Okay,
forward.
we have gone 2 hours so far. Next week, the topic of health will be starting on how tap into our health system. What are some of the things that you think the care can work on? So we got to start to look for some medical practitioner or somebody that have a lot of ideas. And Andrew, maybe you can do your own research. How can we help? And when it comes to health care, what can we do? Primary health care, there are a lot of things. We don't have drugs, we don't have hospitals, we got the buildings, but we don't have nothing. When you go there today, when you don't have the money, they can't accept you. And, so all this, let's start from the basic before going to the top. Because you go there now, if you don't have the money, and some of them took oath, whether they're doing deliberately, that you cannot even accept the patient into your facilities because there's no money, and they die at it. For me, I'm a witness. My little brother died right in front of Redemption Hospital because they were arguing, and when they come, he was dead already. And when they called us, nobody could even allow them in the hospital. And a lot of people died from that. So next week, the healthcare too is a long topic. But while we're doing that, we'll still be chipping in this educational thing. I know people will still call and say, oh, what's going on?
I mean,
So, Jonathan,
it's interchangeable.
take note.
General, it's interchangeable. Have
We
has to
got
do with education too. You got to teach the people how disease prevention. That's education. So
Sure.
yes.
Now,
But
the general go say
the general
I think, oh, you're sorry that my internet, because I noticed from the computer here, I don't know why it's just jumping up. Maybe the internet said tired. Gone 2 hours. This is
Because it
the
only
first show. I think this is the first time for us to hit 2 hours.
because it only internet bill, maybe that what happened here.
And you see,
You want internet bill?
George bluffing now.
Myself, my internet went out. How to buy $3 card?
Oh, you using a card, man. The Care network has a satellite dish up there.
No, he's not home. He's not home. He's not at the office. He's home.
Oh my
I'm
God.
home. Yeah.
Oh.
It'll go back card. But it was nice talking to everyone. Of those of you who listen to us by the way of radio, want to say thank you and be a part of this thing. Come to the office, bring your suggestion. We will start with our surrounding. We will start with our neighbors. We got a lot of people in there that we can tap into. Best, we want to make you a productive citizens. Like the CEO said, and Andrew is saying everything. Listen, we are prepared and ready to work with you. But are you willing? Are you willing? It's up to you. Your destiny is in your hands. You got to just give us the opportunity to help you. And Andrew, I've given his closing, and CEO, I've given his. And George, Jonathan, do you have anything to say? Then we can go to George and call it day off.
Yeah, I don't have nothing much to say. Like the CEO have already said it all. And Mr. Andrew Care, on respect, I have learned a lot from him. George, keep few points down. And we pray with God. We are going to tread on these points, all of the salient points we raised. Like our young fellow Sidiki there, a very young and vibrant man.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for appearing on the show as well.
I know.
So we are going to, like the CEO said, if there are 5 persons we want to touch, we are going to touch those 5 persons life to the fullest.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't do all, but we will do our best. That's the vision. And we are here to help push the vision to its full swing. So thanks to all our listeners. Keep following the Care Network, the Care Humanitarian Foundation, both on the social media, Facebook, WhatsApp,
and YouTube, everywhere. Keep following and sharing. We are here to serve humanity.
Man, good.
Thank you. Thank you
And,
so much.
Thank
and,
you
and let
very
me
much.
say this before we go. Let me say this before we go. It's so funny that the CEO just came and surprised and Siddiqui. Siddiqui been promoting the page. My man, I said,
Yeah,
Siddiqui,
yeah.
just want to do what he's doing. Siddiqui, every day, Siddiqui follow that page. He said, my man, you got to do this. We got to call this person to push. We got to call this other person to do this thing. And now to surprise, what happened? The CEO just surprising. Everything he been doing, I know. In fact, he not coming what 3 times. He sent me a text say, "There's a blessing." He said, Chief, look, I will say again, and I hope other Liberians, young children listening to us, every little young boy asked to do something. It's not free in Liberia. That was
Yeah.
when you hear one person just say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing free. Look, I said, imagine I remember 2 years or years ago, I sent Siddiqui to buy, we raised the money and bought the rice. Siddiqui took the rice. Then I asked him, I said, but what about you yourself? He said, but gee, you tell me I'm gonna take some. You already sent me Christmas money. And and
Yeah.
Siddiqui went to people called Siddiqui and gave him telephone, gave him laptops. One guy they called P sent or Apple computer to me to send to Siddiqui. I'm telling him I sent it to him. And then when he calls Siddiqui got the Apple today, he got the boys in Rwanda doing
See?
to a place where nobody know him.
Hey,
Siddiqui is in his second year now. He
that's
started from
great.
scratch because in AMU, after we pay the school fee, here almost 550. You better go to school. You go to class every day. Imagine private school is a problem. He said, Chief, the distraction too much. Please help me. And I have to raise the money. That's not me. Yes, I didn't want to start it, but everybody chip in $50, $100 today. Siddiqui said there were two. The other one went back. The other one couldn't stand it. He went back. He ain't like, bro, I met him there. He tried to come around and start to hide from me. It's so sad, man. But we can. And thanks again, Chris. Thanks for everything. And to everyone, to those of you listening to us, please,
Wow.
we want you to be the best citizen you are. Please, we
Yep,
want you to be the best. We're not trying to show nothing, but we just want you to be the best. We want
that's
you to be better
true.
than us. And we want to be better. So, Andrew, thank you very much. And Jonathan, CEO, and to George, the man in the studio. You can take it from there. I want to say thank you very much. And please don't forget, follow the page, like the page, subscribe, go to YouTube. The more you follow the page, the more people will get to know what we are doing. Only help us. That's all we're saying. When time reach, we'll reach to you. If that the money, we'll get it from you. So don't worry. Thank you very much. And you guys have a good day.
Okay.
You too.
Adelsman Roville, this is Kia FM 95.9.
Yeah, General.
Yeah, George. So how was the show today? How you see everything? How everything look like?
The show was great today, General. It's very, very great. At least thank God people are coming out now to take their own time to come on the show. hmm
That's good.
So
That's good.
yeah,
That's good.
we are getting there. We are getting there, and very, very soon this show will be the hardest discussion in town. Very, very soon.
From the Adelsman Roville, this is Kia FM 95.9.
Kia Radio 95.9 FM, the era of professional broadcasting.
I don't know for some reason, but you can just disconnect us from our radio. Are we on radio still? Are, are we on radio? Can you hear me, Josh? Josh.
You don't know one that knows my mood swings, and I just want you lying down in my bed now. Oh, my milk, bitch, I'm a fan the less than no. I've been eating your friend now, and she been eating my friend now. Bitch, I'm a fan the less than no. I've been eating your friend now.